Ke botšiša bokoko le botatemogolo gore ba e ba mpotšišetše borrago le kuku the first generations tsa lefase and spirituality. Ke botšiša gore na botsebotse moya bo lo reng o atile o tlhaga kae and o tlile bjang. I know this information can be dangerous. I can find a lot of attacks. I can find a lot of things to be happening. But then this information ke kry-ile based on the research done for several years. Ke tsamaya ke botšiša, ke nyakolla, ke nyakišiša. Because I'm noticing that the information re kriya when World War is happening or after World War. But then does it mean before World War or before this colonization we never had spirituality? No, spirituality has been part of us. The books have been written and it's already balang di buka di ngwadilwe after World War. When World War is happening, it's about World War, people are separated and so on and so forth. So what was happening at the beginning? Fine. I sit down and analyze and karabaki grilling from my sources of spirituality, from the core of spirituality, which is a very unique answers. I believe so. I'm one person wondering I researched to that level. So far so yet I've never met one. I hope one day I will meet one. So the answer I found that is that the beginning God created people ka image ya gage a rata lefase, a rata gore batho ba be gona lefase. And then those people that God created ka image ya gage a ba ratile gore go be ka mokgwa go swantšeng go be gona le tshepedišo ya lefase gore e be ka mokgwa modimo a rateleng e be ka gona. And then the creation ya batho, because people were made, not created. I'm sorry about that. The creation ebile gona lefase la nna gona, people were made. Then ge batho ba dirilwe ka mokgwa ba leng ka gona, batho ba ba gona, Adam and Eve, Lilith, and so on and so forth, based on the information that you already know from the Bible. But then ge batho ba dirilwe ka mokgwa ba dirilweng ka teng, go na le di mistakes and go na le dilo tse di occupyileng, and then go fitlhella batho ba rekiwa legodimong. And then ge batho ba rekilwe ka legodimong wa follower the fallen angels, because fallen angels they were angels tse le reng le bona ba creator their beings. Funny enough, they created their beings, then because they played God, they made their own beings, not created. Sorry for using the word creation, but they made their own beings. Then when they made their own beings, then so because the creation or the making of a fifth being, because we have four beings in heaven, which is R, A, E, O. Then the U, it's a woman being, it's you. So that is why Maranakiso is an alpha and omega, but the U, it is not there. So the reason why it's alpha and omega is because we had four things that existing. Then the fifth one is a woman being. So the woman being, after God made it, then that's information for another day. But then let's continue about. Then when women beings, but saying now, and then we have fallen angels, they created their own beings similar to the human beings, because they were there when Eve was created, the wife of Adam. So they say. And then when the creation, fallen angels are here, because God wanted to communicate or have protection over his made beings. So he chose those ones that he made by his hands, and have a communication with them through his angels to communicate with them, to send a message, to deliver a message, which is isithunywa barumiwa in short. So barungwanyana bawe barumilweng, which is isithunywa, the dominating word now we have in African spirituality, they call it isithunywa, but ke barungwa, you can name it in anything. So barungwa bawe ba bolela le mangeloi for delivering a message, ba rumio setšhabeng gore delivering this type of a message. And then because batho ke batho ba kopana le di-fallen angels ko metsing, then he ba kopana le di-fallen angels ko metsing, they have these communications le di-fallen angels. Then that communication le di-fallen angels did really gore those people ba fetse ba robala le di-angels. They were special because they were being able to talk to angels and deliver the message of God. So when ba robala le di-fallen angels, they created something else. So ngwana o a created with by a fallen angel and mokgethiwa wa modimo, it's called Umundao. The reason why it's having this name is not an original name, but it dominated because as relevant to, there's a culture that dominates by something but doesn't mean they own it. So when World War, they were the ones that follow the marine stuffs, then Mundao people followed that thing, then they create the name Umundao. So that's where they say that this thing that is created is called Umundao. Umundao is not a spirit to say, but it's a form of a creation aging. So when the creation aging is then the spirit which gets within the two which is created, then they name it of Umundao. But then when we understand there was someone who was created there, or there was something which was created there, that something that was created, it created the good and the bad spirits. So the spirits, when they combined, they called it Umundao now officially, but you can name it anything you want. I will call it a water spirit, I will call it a spirit of the dark and the good, I will call it Umundao. It's up to you what you call it, but then that spirit is the combination of the bad spirit of from fallen ancestors and a good spirit from people who are chosen by God. Then the two, when they combined, then we have two different types of spirits in one person, or in particularly creation. Then now the two combination made God angry, say that people are not listening, even the chosen ones that I chose, they chose to do bad things. Then they lost the communication further with God. So when the communication was lost, the people wanted guidance and people wanted to go back to God. Now people wanted to go back to their God, to be able for God to send angels to talk to them, but because they did something bad, it is not possible. And now their spirit is mixed up with bad and good. So they wanted to understand for the next generation to say that, remember, we mixed our spirit, but our children needs to distinguish between bad and good. They need to know that which side is bad and which side is good. That's when in Zunza spirit is born and other spirit and so on and so forth. But then today I want to focus on this thing of Umundao. And then when the two spirits are combined that way, then our forefathers or our grandparents wanted a way to distinguish the spirits. Then in a way to distinguish the spirits, that is why they introduced a way yakuluma namatam, for direction. The bones will be the ones that direct them not to use the bad side or not the best side to interfere when they are trying to deliver a message to the community to help the community and people living amongst us, or to help ourselves. So at the end of the day, that communication, it came and it became something very powerful. It became something very unique. It became something great. People are using bones to interpret ditaba tsa bona gore mara am I still on a ke di tshupa tsela in Spedi ke di bontsha tshepedišo ya bophelo gore mara am I still on the right track. So unfortunately, even through dilo tseo di led are nothing, people still chose the bad side because they They invoke other spirits. There were other spirits that are coming out, spirits of money, which is in zonzo, and then the spirits of this, the spirits of death, the spirits of death, the spirits of life, the spirits of this. People, messed it up, but then the introducing or the introduction of using bones, amatambo, go shumisha marapo ditaola, it was to direct dingaka tsa bo rona gore this is the good side of the spirit. And remember that now our spirit is mixed. We have good and bad. Then now the mixture of the two, we need to distinguish which one is good between the spirits that are now combined. So when the spirits are like that, batho ba bantši ba ba rutile thuto ya ditaola go lekola gore moya go bolela le bona, because now the spirits are two are speaking at the same time, or they are speaking simultaneously. We need to understand, we need to distinguish the two. No, people need to learn about spirituality. They need to understand themselves. They need to understand the good side of spirituality. They need to understand the bad side of spirituality. That's where spirituality had the bad and the good. That's where things started to be worsened up, because the fallen angels wanted to take control, God wanted to be in control, or the spirit of God wanted to be the control, and the spirit of the dark wanted to be in control. So we need to know which side do you fall within the two. But then they failed. People, people are people. When you give me money, I enjoy it. They loved simple things, which comes from the dark side of the spirituality. But then it continued, and then that's the birth of Umundao spirit. So Umundao spirit, it's a combination of the bad and the good. I said that, forget about the name, but focus on how it came. Then the bad side of Umundao gave birth with two Inzonza, which is also a marine spirit. It gave birth by the bad side of Umundao for money and rituals, like you kill your son, you get money, utlabapudi, utlafola, and you do so many things, for power, gold, stuff. Then people started dreaming of snakes, having the power of the snakes, the water snakes, and so on and so forth. That's in the spirit. So that spirit dominates like that, and I'm gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna go to the good side of the spirits. And then when it continued like that, people, were dying, children were dying, so on and so forth. So continuously, so because the next generation suffered from that spirit. They had that spirit within them, be carried away from their parents or their grandparents. So that spirit has been a problem with them. So that spirit, it gives you money if you do the right thing. If you follow it, it gives you money. You've got luck. You've got everything. You can't wear watches, anything. Like you can't wear anything in your hand, in your ears. You get irritated simply. So in a short of time, women suffer from womb pains, back pains, and miscarriages. Children, like they give birth to children, they die in a young early age. Then when they die, some of them, because they die with the spirits from our grandparents, then the spirits they form against Kamahara Habon, and then there's another spirit born, which is called Varging spirit. Someone, I forgot the name, but there's a certain spirit when children started to die in that way before the age of 13, 12, so on and so forth. Then there was another spirit dying. Then it's a spirit that loves sweets and stuff, So it's spirit is Saban. Fine. When in Zonzo it's like that, in Zonzo spirit, I will remember the name of that spirit. I know I can't keep record, but I will remember. So in Zonzo spirit is born that way. People live that way. Then people started to cry. People started to say, God, we need to go back to our originality. Remember, the spirit is bad for it, and we don't own it. Then the only channel that they can go is to jump, is to jump in Zonza, to jump Umundao, to go to the foundation of the spirits, which is Tunywa, communication with angels. So when they jump to the both spirits, they go to the first, which is istunywa, So that is why 100% or 99% of people who are having in zones of spirit or in zones of spirit, they have istunywa, high risk of istunywa, praying. They can be pastors, they can preach, they can do anything. So people, when they notice that thing, that the only way to run away from this spirit is to go back to the foundation. People are people. Pastors started to use these spirits simultaneously to connect them and to use it. There's one which is down there to manipulate people. That's where we have pastors that use in zones of spirit to take money from people, and they are powerful because this spirit is a bad side. It's very powerful, it's very attractive. It's in zones of people, you can't do anything. The power of the snake attraction is in them. They are very good. They attract anything in this world. They attract anyone. When you have in zones of spirit, believe me, you, wherever you go, it's like you have your attention. People are looking at you. People who want to learn you. That is why most of them, they appear late to events. They come very late to events, and when they come, people are looking at them. They're turning with them. They have this thing of attraction. This power attraction. That is why wherever you date in zones of spiritual person, it's not easy to move on from that person. Believe me, it's not easy. Even on the bad side, even on the good side, it's not going to be easy. Sometimes they remember their access to you, remember them, you'll forever want to be around them. They have this attraction, sexual attraction, mental attraction, any sort of attraction they have. So now, people who wanted to run away from the spirit, to say that, we want to go back to be good, they are praying, but still they have the lack. It means that the spirit now is invoking good side of it to give money, to give everything, but they are praying. It's too much. It's dominating with them. If you are fortunate, you become successful by just prayer, by just living of things. But then we have people that are not patient with this gift. They are not patient with this, spiritual line. So they rush things, they go back and use the in zones are over the istunya gift. Then we have pastors that they will say that they have istunya, but when you look at them, they're using the in zones in sort. So istunya is just a cover up. Then they're using in zones to attract people, to kill people. People are still dying, and so on and so forth. So in zones people, symptoms of in zones people. I know people talk about umundau, but if you want, I'll see on a comment that I will engage about umundau more. But symptoms of inzunza, it's laziness, being lazy to clean your own room. But then the moment they say that they are cleaning, they are doing sprint cleaning. They clean everything. They clean. And then number 2 symptom of the thing is not being able to wear watches, depeta, anything. Like they are not able to do those things. Like they just got irritated easily. Number 3, it's feeling womb pains as a woman, mostly womb pains. You have lack of money, but how you can have 20,000 and one moment is boom out of your hands. And being able to attract, having this attentional, like everyone, wherever you go, it's like people are watching you, people are looking at you. You have this attraction, whether it's bad or good, but people are looking at you. You can just be hated by people, be loved by people. One moment people love you, one moment people hate you. Yeah. So those are the things, but then simple things. So I will continue. Let me see. Subscribe for the YouTube channel. This is GP. God bless you.